Good evening, everybody. We are here. I'm Yolanda Hinton, host of FYI After Dark, and we're here with our co-host, Edward Everett,
Yes,
aka Mr. E.
I'm Ed Everett.
How
Yes,
are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you all so much for joining us on FYI After Dark podcast. Roll call. Thank you so very, very much.
Absolutely. We are here this evening. We're doing a roll call, and we want to know who is on the line.
That's right. Who's on the line? All you had to do is hit us and like us and share and send us your information, and we'd be more than happy to chat back with you.
Absolutely. First of all, we want to welcome our platform. We're on Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment. Please subscribe, follow us. We have a new YouTube channel, FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton. And of course, you can always go to Crystal Records One, CRISTO Records One. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe along with our other platforms, Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And we would appreciate it. Instagram as well. We will appreciate your follow. So how you doing this evening, Mr. E?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantabulous.
That's very good.
And yourself?
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I want to just welcome our listeners, viewers, and sponsors. We have Bulvic Academy, and we'll talk about that in a little while, the websites and what's on those websites where you can get information. Also, beardgods.com. We want you to visit that, and we will tell you a little bit more about that website as well, that business as well. But we want to just welcome you. And first of all, we are hosts of FYI Radio Show Morning Live. We come on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Mr. E, tell them where we are and what time.
Well, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10, you can join us on WPCE 1400 Peace 95.3 FM, WMVA 88.9 FM, and WGPL 1350 AM. 1350 AM. That's right, 1350 AM, and on all social media platforms. Now, don't forget, if you're tuning to us, you can catch it on your cell phone. You can hear us all over the world by going to 1400am.com or 1350am.com. That's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 live.
Absolutely. That's our live radio show. We're also on social media platforms like Mr. E said. But FYI After Dark is an After Dark nighttime podcast. And we're on all social media platforms. We want you to make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, tell somebody about our podcast at night. But don't forget, FYI Morning Show live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. If you can't get us on social media, you can get us live on Peace 95.3 FM, WGPL 1350, WPCE 1400, and WMVA 88.9 FM, the World Wide Web. And then also you can catch our replays. If you don't get us live, of course, you can always go to our pages and you can get the replay. You can go ahead and go on those platforms and get the show there as well. So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Look, we want you all to get into the chat because we want to shout you out. This is roll call. We want to find out who's on the line, what you're doing, and how you're doing. And of course, we're going to go over a few things that we're going to be doing with FYI After Dark and FYI Radio Show.
That's right. And all you got to do is hit us up, like us, and share with us, and let us know who's who on the line.
Absolutely. What we want to do while we wait for folk to come on, we want to just announce some upcoming shows. Mr. E, I always look forward to this subject, and it's a subject of immigration. There's so much going on, throughout the election. Immigration, immigration, immigration. I even heard with all the stuff that was going on the weekend and what happened in the White House, it turned around again on today, and they were talking immigration, immigration, immigration. And so we're going to have a special guest. Is that right, Mr. E? That's going to
That's right. We're
come
gonna have a
to
special
our
guest.
audience
Yeah.
about immigration.
That's right. We're going to have a special guest coming your way, and we're going to talk to you about immigration. What are the pros and cons about, and what do you need to do, and what's going on with immigration? Miss Hinton, immigration is a germ now. They call it. They call it a germ because there's so many people that don't want to be sent back to where they came from. There's so many people out here that's on Panicville. They're nervous, because because of who we have in the White House and what's going on in the White House, and like they want to send them back to somewhere they've never been. For example, I'm an African American man. I'm a black man. I was born and raised in the United States, and I live right here in this city. Now, it looks kind of crazy for me as a black man to be sent back to a tribe in Africa where I'd never been before.
Well, who said y'all were going back? Black people.
I ain't going back. I'm going forward.
I tell you what, there are several groups of people that are in this country who fear for their lives. I know, of course, Trump decided to run on immigration. And when he was first president, that was his thing, sending folk back. And why are we bringing people in? Talked about the Mexicans and how they were here, and he felt like they had mental illness, or they were robbers or crooks or drum lords or whatever. And so it spooked so many people in that culture. And even now with him ramping up his threats on immigration and things like that, have really, really put that particular culture in great fear. And so, and they're not the only ones, but he really targets the Mexican people, Hispanic people, Latinos, and things like that, especially Mexico with the border. And so, for that reason, we want to talk about some of the fears of that culture. We want to talk about some of the things that they're doing. And we also bring somebody in to talk about the law, because, we've got to follow what's going on according to the law, not just feelings, because sometimes when we have a cause, we're so passionate about it. And, people want to go by how I feel. Oh, I feel. But then there's also laws, rules, and regulations that you're going to have to go by. And you got to find out how it fits you.
That's right.
Are you here legally? Are your family members here legally? Are you, making sure you have your paperwork? Are you making sure that things, you're doing things according to, what rules and regulations that you have to go by? Are the powers that be going by the law? Are they going by their feelings or prejudice? Are they prejudiced against certain cultures? You got to find that out, because law or no law, if you have this bias against people, you'll do everything you can, law or no law, to make their lives a living hell. And Mr. E, you just mentioned it. You said, hey, even the African American culture, some people may want to threaten that, like, you all, Mr. E, we heard that stuff. You all need
That's
to go
right.
back to Africa. We've heard that down the line.
That's right. We heard that you are from Africa, that you were born and raised in Africa. Well, our ancestors was from Africa, way back there a long time ago. And that's where our ancestors from. And you cannot send somebody that don't know nothing about where they've been. I know about the culture. I know about the people. I heard about them. But where you going to send me? Where you going to
Well,
send
you're
me?
from here. That's right. Where are you going to send an American citizen, first of
That's
all?
right. Where you going to
You
put
don't know
these?
nothing about their culture
Where
because
you going to
we
put
are
these folks
Americans.
at? What is
We are Americans, and so we've got to, we
translation of their languages? Where are you going to put them?
well, I tell you what, we're going to talk about immigration, and hopefully, not only will we have a speaker, but maybe we'll have some folk that have concerns, have questions, and want to know, hey, what does my future look like? I'm here. My mama may, didn't come here. She came over and stayed for a minute, or my children were. I wasn't, born here, but my children were. People are going to have questions and concerns. And so we're going to have somebody to
That's
come and
right.
talk to us a little bit about immigration and where the law stands and,
That's right.
what people can do with their fears and their emotion and see if, things can work out where they are protected and they are following rules and regulations and the law.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Also, trafficking. I know people kind of take the subject sometimes and kind of move it away. But Mr. E, we hear about trafficking. We hear about trafficking in this area that we live in. And that is a problem that I don't know how and who is going to be able to solve it.
Well, Miss Hinton, when we begin to look at trafficking, it's a really a monster too, because you don't have to be a foreigner to traffic anybody. It can be right in your own backyard where folks are trafficking people.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to pay close attention because we look around and we trying to figure out where is such and such may be, where they may be. They could be strung out because somebody then picked them up on the side of the road and took them to another country, another city. That's trafficking. They probably gave them a drug and knocked them out and drove them all the way to North Carolina. If you look at it, there was a lady down here at Virginia Beach, a young girl that worked at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard. Then they found her in North Carolina. That's trafficking. That's somebody taking somebody at their own without giving them permission and taking them to some place they don't know anything about and making them do whatever you want them to do.
Absolutely. It is a problem. Speaking of our ancestors, that's how they got over here. They trafficked them right over here, didn't ask to come, and then
That's right.
treated them, really bad once you got them here. Put them to work, didn't pay them, didn't do right by them. And it is a terrible thing that right in front of the whole wide world, people are able out in the open to do things to people. And it's some of these things are allowed. And so we'll talk about trafficking, we'll get into it, and we'll tell you how it is just about in your own backyard. It's very close. And some people, may not know that it is. Some people may not know the signs of someone that's being trafficked. You may be in close proximity to someone. You may be somebody may be on the street peddling. You giving them money. You don't know that they're being trafficked. Somebody may come to your door and they're peddling. You don't know that they're being trafficked. Or a young girl, a young boy may come up to you and or go past you in the store and you don't know. You just sometimes don't know what to expect, what's the signs, and how you can help folk. And
That's
so
right.
we're going to cover that topic, give you that information as well, get some experts in here to talk to us about trafficking and what to look for.
That's
Also, this is what I wanted to ask you, Mr. E. What has happened to women's issues? Now, during the election, before the election and during the election, Mr. E, it was all about women's rights, women's reproductive rights. And what happened to that? What did that fly out the window?
Miss Hinton, the thing about it is it was good. It was good while it lasted, because we had so many women that was ganging up, that was following, that was forward. And then all of a sudden it fell down. Nobody really, what happened to all the ones that said, I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you? When they was out there protesting and road testing and toe testing, they was out there screaming and hollering by the scores, coming from north, south, east, and west, and they drove in because they was in that Me Too movement. That's Me Too movement. And because they was in that Me Too movement, standing up for the rights of a woman, to standing up for equal rights, standing up for equal pay, standing up for being a woman, that we take our own life, we take charge of who we are, and nobody can tell us what happened to it.
Well, maybe they went underground. Maybe they, maybe they're somewhere trying to regroup. But Lord knows, and you all know for a fact, I'm not lying. We were hearing about it so much. We felt as though when Kamala Harris ran for president, she was going to be that person, that leader who could help women's rights and women reproductive rights and women voting rights and all kind of things. And we find out once the election was over, Mr. E, I don't hear too much about it. Now we're coming up with our segment on Women's History Month, and we are going to, still address some of those things. But I'm like, where are those that advocate? Where are those that are out there that was like, Now, one thing we do know is some of them that was so concerned about women's rights went over there to somebody that ain't studying about you and women's rights, and not studying about a whole lot of folks and women's rights. And so a lot of them are sitting back, and I'm not sure if they're crying or just undercover, went underground or what. But I do know this about a group of women, and we talked about it on the show. We got a group of women, and they call African American women, and they said, "Listen, we were here to fight for you. You were supposed to stand with us, and we were going to what is it? The tiger. We were going to beat the tiger up. Let's put it like that. We was going to get that tiger. We was going to get that one who is blocking and keeping women from getting the rights that they want, even health rights, mental health and all kind of rights for women." And so listen to this, Mr. E, and we talked about it on the show. After the election, there's a group of people called African American women that said, "Listen, don't call us, we'll call you, because we're not studying about you. We had your back. We had your back.
Nancy
we were
Pelosi.
here. We were going to go and vote for the person that could help your rights. But since you don't feel the need, you snuck." I'm going to say it again. You snuck over somewhere else where they said that we don't care about your rights. And you voted for that. So African American, guess what they doing, Mr. E? They laying low.
That's right.
Don't come to us. Don't ask us to do nothing. Don't ask us to fight for you, because we were here, and you could have gotten the things that you were. That goes for when we talked about immigration and Mexicans. They said Mexican men went so hard in voting for the other another group, wherein they now are they're shaking in their boots. But hey, you had a chance to vote with people that said, "Listen, y'all kind of think about your future and think about what's being said, and determine whether or not you want to stay on, a place where you can have your rights and have, somebody that's concerned about your well-being."
Ms. Hinton, when we began to talk about that and talk about the women Me Too movement and all those African American women and all those Hispanic folks who saying, "Look, I ain't gonna vote for him." I mean, what happened to you, Nancy? Where are you? I'm just calling Karens out. When you call them Karens out, that all of them that was supposed to be a part of Karen, where you at, Karen? That's
Who's
supposed,
Karen?
That's supposed to be right there with you. We got you. We got you. And so you was counting on all those women to pull it together so that we could glean together and fight together. Then you jump ship.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what it's going to take to get things back on course. I guess you all are gonna have to fight harder, or get somebody else to advocate for you. Because, like I said, African American women, I know where they are. I may not know where these other folk are, but I know where African American women are. They saying, "Listen, we're not fighting your battles for you no more. Leave us alone, because we told you." We told you, and we told you from experience. We did not tell you from just, a feeling. We know for a fact
We know
that how your rights can be towed up and towed down.
That's right. And Ms. Hinton, I want to say thank you so much to our listening audience for joining FYI After Dark podcast and joining FYI. Listen, we want you to call in. We want you to chime in. We want to hear from you. We want to see if you with us on us. Just go ahead and type in your name and let us know that you on board with us. We're on all social media platforms, from LinkedIn down to Instagram, from Instagram down to YouTube, from YouTube down to Facebook, and we're also right here live with you, streaming live. So chime in, let us know who's up here with us, and let us know that, hey, I got you back.
Absolutely. Bunnies 06 joined. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook Live, Instagram. We're just here. We are on all social media platforms, World Wide Web, and we are definitely excited about being here on Monday evenings. We come on at 6 p.m. and we are here to talk about all kinds of things for your information. After dark. We're going to be talking about so many things. We're going to be covering a lot as well. Along with Women History Month, we're going to always have our Wednesday What's Under the Hat issues concerning men. Mr. E, we got to dig deep. You talking about women's issues, but let's talk about men. We've had some great topics on our morning show. We want to really, I really want us to get a panel of folk that are able to come on, and we have discussions on everything from politics to love, from love to family, education, and what's going on in politics. So many subjects that we can cover concerning men. And so I'm looking forward to more Wednesdays, but I'm also hoping that we can bring FYI After Dark and pull in that segment to cover, to address issues concerning men.
Ms. Hinton, one thing about these issues, we talk about men because we want to know more about what the men, but see, this is the thing that gets me so much. I like our segments when we talk about women, what women are doing, what's going on with women, and why did y'all renege on voting for having judgment on your own body. I mean, why don't throw the baby out with the bathwater when all of y'all should have pulled together? Did you look at this? This is the thing, and you hit the nail right on the head. When you look at this Me Too movement, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of women that was marching in that Me Too movement. Here's the question I want to ask you, Listen, what happened to them?
That's what we're going to find out on our women's segment. That's what we're going to find out in our women's history segments. We're going to find out on FYI After Dark because we're going to talk to women. We want to find out, where do you stand? How do you feel? Do you feel empowered or do you feel helpless? Life after the election, life after Pamela Kamala Harris, and but I've heard some things through the grapevine. But I'm just saying, life after, she pushed and pushed and pushed for the people, and so we're gonna find that out on FYI After
That's
Dark.
right.
In the
That's right.
meantime, we definitely want to talk about men's issues
That's
and
right.
find out where do men stand, because we want, now one thing I would like to know, Mr. E, why didn't men really support, a lot of men support Kamala Harris? Like I said earlier, the Mexican people, they went over there, especially men. They said especially Mexican men, Asian men. Why didn't you see the vision of someone who seemed to care about your rights and things like that? Now, and I'm saying that, we have a democracy, so people can run for president, Republican, Democrat, whoever, and that's their right. But I'm saying, when you hear what people want to do for you and you don't listen, then when you start crying about it, then everybody's like, you doing what? What's wrong? Because people, we were told, now look, this person believes in this person believes in that, and you didn't believe it. You didn't care to believe it. And so, where do men stand when it comes to what's going on now? Are they still holding this united front? Do they have any regrets? What about, do they care about women's rights? Do men care about women's rights? Do they care about somebody threatening their culture? Do they care about, what do they care about? We want to know. Then there's a group, I think 20%, 22% or less of African American men that said, hey, we rather go over here. It's better, things are better over here. And I am curious to know, why. You have every right to do what you want to do, vote who you want to vote for. But I am very, very concerned and very curious of the whys.
You said something that was so profound, is that 20% of them went over to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Hinton, because 20% of them, had looked at it in a different perspective. They looked at it as if to say, we're going to benefit over here. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. The thing about it is just like, for example, back in the days of old, there was 80% of folks out there in the field. 20% of them worked around the yard, in the house, 20% of them. Because 20% think that life will be easy in the house. They think that if they sit there and serve and serve and serve, that life will be easy for them. But the thing that you got to look at it now, life is not easy for you. You're going to have to jump just like we're going to have to jump.
I think one of the main things is that when somebody tell you who they are, you need to believe them. You can't fault somebody for telling you what they're going to do. They said what they were going to do. Why didn't you believe them? Now, you got an epiphany. Oh, what? The light bulbs have come on for some. But I'm saying, when somebody says, listen, we're going to take the rights of this one, or we're going to do this one, or we're going to, believe them, because that's what they want to do. And so, why people are, falling out and fearful and crying, you were told by that person, by that group, what we plan on doing. This is our vision. Now you can go on this side or this side. You remember when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, and Aaron says, who's on the Lord's side? And you had the choice, like, okay, now if you're on the Lord's side, you safe. Well, if you're on this side, I'm telling you, it is not going to be a good idea to be on this side. And so what happened was, all of a sudden, the earth was swallowed up by those that were not on the Lord's side. And I'm saying that because you heard the choices, and the consequences are there, but you see the consequences after the fact, Mr. E. The epiphany. Oh, I see it now. A lot of people are online crying about it, and they are, they're sulking. But why? You It's what they said. Look, my friend Vashon, how are you? How's your mom? Did she just have a birthday? And I'm telling you, it's just a lot going on. I would love for you to come on, Vashon, one of our After Dark shows, talk about your journey, talk about some of the things that you care most about, and just try to figure out where we are as far as rights for everybody. And
Mhm.
so let me know if you are ever interested in coming on and sharing with us. So, Mr. E, men, where do they stand? Men, what do they think of? Uh, so we'll be talking, we'll be just talking to folk, finding out, about life after, like I said, after the election, or their lifestyle, their journey, what their expectations are now that we are. If I don't know, Mr. E, I feel like we're in a whole new world.
Well, this is a whole new world because after the election, everybody that was anybody, male or female, they stopped action. The action stopped and they all went, and some of them went and hid underneath the rugs, underneath the table, shaking under the beds, like, oh me, oh me, oh my. See, but the thing that you got to remember is this: can't nobody do no more than what you allow them to do. You know, when I look at how the world has taken a turn and went from being almost honest, almost nice, and then I saw them take a turn and become totally ratchet. The United States don't have no standards anymore. The United States was built upon crookedness and nastiness. Now it was hitting behind the road. Now it's now open. When you look at what's going on in the White House, in the jailhouse, in the courthouse, when you look at, you will see that there are some things that's not shaking and not going on right. Men and women on both sides. Brothers, we ain't gonna let them cross the line. We ain't gonna let them take us back, because we still being treated like animals. We still being treated like dogs. We still getting ostracized and beat up like we don't have nothing going for us. So hey, the thing about it is we still gonna be men.
Well, I tell you what, everybody is looking to have their rights. Everybody wants their right. Everybody deserves their civil rights. We just finished with Black History Month, and too many people have fought for the rights of people. Too many people have lived and died for the rights of everybody.
That's right.
Let's not get it twisted. And it's a shame that we have to constantly fight, 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 fight. We talk about women's rights sometimes, and we look at the fact, or African American people, and the fact that there was a time we couldn't vote. There was a time we couldn't live where we wanted to live. There was a time. Why do we have to fight, fight, fight for things that we should have as human beings?
We should not never had to fight for things. We should have never had to go through a storm or a battle for things that should be, could be, what we have already have graft in our hands. We should be able to walk in, open up the door with our own keys and do our own thing.
Absolutely. So, of course, civil rights, we talked about that during Black History Month. We'll be talking about issues concerning men, issues concerning women. We'll be just talking about all kind of things that's going on in our world and the changes that are taking place. But I tell you what, there's something that I would like for us to do, and that is to make sure we have people that are willing to speak up and speak out and be interviewed. If you're interested in being on FYI radio show to either tell your story or tell what you're doing for the community, or if you are an expert in any of the issues that we've talked about concerning anybody, we would love you to be on FYI Morning Show or FYI After Dark. We want to interview and find out, how you can help, or how you can, stand strong in what you do, or how you address certain things, how you see, how, your perspective, you know. Sometimes we see perspectives only through our eyes.
That's
But
right.
then when we hear other people talk and tell their story and tell about their journey and their history, we can more understand, who they are. It's just like looking at, I always say this, like looking at a box of cereal, and I declare on out the box of this, of the front, the box of cereals is this particular image, but I don't see it from behind. It could be that person may see, well, I may see a picture, but on the other side, somebody may say, well, no, I see words on this, or somebody may be on the side and say, no, I see ingredients. And instead of looking at the whole picture, uh, seeing other people's perspective on life and how they live, and walking in their shoes, we've got to actually get more empathy, sympathy for everyone. And so we want to hear from folk. We want them to be a part of our platform. We want them to come on and tell their story, speak up and speak out. Locally, we want to talk to folk, Mr. E, throughout the country and even worldwide. We would
That's
love
right.
to have and pull in folk from other cultures that have a perspective on some of the things that we talked about.
That's right. And if you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, this FYI radio show in the AM, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can email us at FYI radio show live at gmail.com. If you'd like to be a special guest right here on FYI After Dark, give us a call at the same number, FY 757-714-7861, or you can email us or inbox us at Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton's Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page, and let us know that, hey, look, I would love to be a special guest on your After Dark show, or if you are in the AM. But if you'd like to be an audience, let us know. Email us and we'll email you back on the day that we would love for you to be in our audience as our special guest.
Absolutely. So we're going to definitely bring some great topics and great folk for you. But you can inbox us, like Mr. E say, or we'll give you that contact information a little bit later near the end. So you can contact us. You can also contact us with suggestions and things that you feel like, well, you all haven't covered this or that. We're more than willing. Just let us know, how you feel about certain things. And we would definitely do our best to cover certain subjects. Also, listen, don't forget, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have great shows. We just talked about issues concerning men and women, but also our Monday Sports
That's right.
Talk. That's on
That's
our
right.
morning live show. But we'll do that sometimes for our FYI After Dark replays, or sometimes we'll get into the sports thing after dark as well. Right, Mr. E?
That's right. I want to say good afternoon to Hillbilly underscore girl lover, and also Mr. Jan Greg 13. Just Jan Smith Greg 13. Thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world.
Absolutely. So definitely get into contact with us. We'll give you that contact information a little bit later. Don't forget, Sports Talk is really a fan favorite. Folk really love in our morning live show talking about sports. We're doing the NBA now. We finished the NFL. We cover a lot of different things, but I tell you what, those are two of our favorites, the NFL and the NBA. And Mr. E, we really have a good time with that segment.
That's right. We really talk about the sports, get down. And not only that, we open the phone line so you can tell about your favorite team and invite special guests to come on. If your team is the Commanders, we'd like to have you as a commander come and talk and share the mic with us, share the stage with us, and talk about your favorite team. And guess what? And don't forget that, hey, I talk about mine too.
Yes.
You
So
know,
I
Miss
check.
Hinton, I want to change the subject if you don't mind. I want to talk and tell me what you think about the Oscars on last night.
Oh my goodness, I wanted to mention that. Absolutely. There were some things I liked about the Oscars. There were some moments like, okay, I can turn the channel, but I think because they make it so big, and they try to do it up so big, sometimes every now and then I will look at it. Of course, the clothing, of course, we saw some beautiful things, beautiful gowns, beautiful attire. For that reason, people are kind of like spellbound looking at it. Some of the movies, I think sometimes the movies are really extraordinary. There were some that I wasn't familiar with at all, and it felt like it was a whole different realm, world of movies that I had not seen yet. And so, it's in a class of its own. It has been controversial with African American people saying, "Look, you leave it, y'all believe in leaving us out." But I tell you what, Miss Lee, last night when that young man won for costume, that Oscar for costume in movies, it was absolutely a wonderful thing. First time African American man won that category, and it felt good. And it felt good to see Hispanic people, Latino people winning in categories. It just felt a little bit like, it should be inclusive. We know that we all have our different platforms because we have, our platforms with the BET Awards and the hip hop awards and things like that. Then you have the Grammys, the music award. Everybody have their different platforms, but we still like to see, sometimes when you've had a platform and you know that there's talented people in other races and they're not included, it makes you feel some kind of way. So much so, folk have protested, Mr. E. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. When you look at different shows, when you look at the platforms of different folk, that folks have protested not to be a part of it,
Or
and
to be a part. Some of
yeah,
them want to knock down the door.
because they want to be out there, they want to be around it. But sometimes, it's just like right here in the 757, there's different uh, Rotary clubs that used to be private. They didn't want anybody in there.
Yes.
And now they welcome and lottie dotting everybody because their money got funny and the change got strange.
Yeah, and so there's always a reason. That's what I'm saying. There's always a breakdown where you need it. You may not be wanted, but you need it.
That's
And
right.
so we see that throughout history and throughout time. You may not be needed, but wanted, but there's a need for you to be, a part of something. And so, a lot of African American and others have knocked on that door and tried to bust it open. They got rejected and pushed out. But we do see where there's a crack where and there's doors that are opening now. It's
That's
not
right.
that we've never had the talent or couldn't go toe to toe. We just weren't part of the club, just like you said, Missy. If
That's
you're not in the club, you're an outsider. And so why in the world would you give privilege to people that you feel are outsiders? And so, looking at the Oscars, I kind of enjoyed some things about it. And my mind went back to, that place where there was a lot of protests because I saw Whoopi Goldberg. And, Whoopi and Hallie and all them, a lot of African American people was like, listen, we are great actors, good actors. We need to be in the door. We need to be there. So there were some things that made me reflect on times past, but I kind of looked at it and said, okay, I kind of get what y'all do, but it's good to see that you will include the other races.
That's right. And that's what it's all about, being a part. Everybody wants to be a part, and we want you to be a part of FYI After Dark. If anything you have that you think that need to be discussed on our platforms, all you got to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can inbox us at Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page, or you can email us at FYI Radio Show Live at gmail.com, and we'll email you back. All you got to do is say, I'd like to be a special guest on the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world.
Now, this is a joke. A lot of folks, not a lot, some folks said that because of the slap,
That's
because of the slap, they were going to keep the African American out.
That's right.
But, look,
we don't know how to act.
They just, word in the street sometimes. Say the officers done gone get them.
That's right.
It did not. Right. It was an incident that took place with Chris Rock and Will Smith. Will Smith slapped the mess out of Chris Rock. And I mean, hey, it was what it was. It is what it is. But in the meantime, like we said, doors are opening and people are seeing talent across the board. I was taking note of Wicked, the movie Wicked.
Yeah.
And, the awards and stuff that went out with that. It just seemed like people are including people and making it a little more family friendly to see, people of all cultures and all colors. I kind of enjoyed certain parts of the Oscar.
Miss Hinton, when I looked at that and I saw some of the Whoopies and the Oprah and Queen Latifah, and then I saw my boy who played in Caddyshack, how they opened up the show. I thought that was such a great opening because he was in the audience all that long time and was not even recognized that he didn't have a tuxedo.
I thought it was kind of cool.
That was a joke. That was inside.
Absolutely. Joke. Well, he's a comedian. He got to bring it.
Yeah, because they said it in the White House. They asked Ukraine's president, why you don't have a suit on when you come here.
Mr. E, I know you've seen Saturday Night Live talking about funny. That spoof was so funny. About what happened Friday in the White House with Ukraine's president and your president, Donald Trump. And it was just amazingly funny, so funny, truthfully funny that it didn't make any sense. And so, hey, people are trying to keep a sense of humor. As a matter of fact, with our Black History Month, we did comedians. We did a tribute to comedians past and present. And during the time that, we really, really was fighting hard, I mean, real hard, for equal rights, civil rights, we did need to see the light. We needed to see God, but we also needed that comedy. And those comedians helped us get through hard times too. So, we like sometimes when things are funny and it keeps things light a little bit because we are in a critical time. We live in critical and perilous times, but we still need to have hope and have to have light in order to keep going, even through hard times.
That's right. And you're right about that. We need to smile every now and then. You need to smile often. That makes the world and the day go great. When you see somebody smiling and makes you smile and make you happy, one of the things that we got to remember that if we can put a smile on somebody's face, then we have done right by God. Then our living is not in vain.
I wanted to mention also that we do a current job list. We try to do it mostly on Fridays. Please, when you see that list posted, we post it on our social media platform. Please share it and like it and, use it. Great jobs, great salaries, hourly wages, great opportunity. Make sure, you check on that. Also, I personally am looking for a videographer and editor so we can do some of our live in-person shows with our guests. We'll be doing some of that, Mr. E. You'll see that from time to time. People coming in and actually videotaping, and not that's for our social media platform. It can be, probably will be live at times, and then they will be shows that are produced for the podcast. And really, we would love to have somebody to intern, maybe a young college student, somebody that really loves, the camera and good at it, can do a little editing. We would love to have you for maybe a few months. You know how the internship works, Mr. E.
That's
It's
right.
we offer incentives and things like that. It's not a paid position, and we don't keep them that long because it's just an opportunity to learn more about their craft or to get into what they're passionate about. So if you all are interested in doing and helping with our live in-house, we have a place in Norfolk where we're going to be doing these shows to bring in guests to have the live podcast or the podcast show. Please, 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 Mr. East going to give you contact information in a little while. You can get in touch with us through those emails and inboxes. Let's see. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our social media platforms. Remember, we are on Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure you go. I will be posting those links specifically, but the two of the platforms that you can go on right now if you want to is our YouTube platform, Crystal Records One, Cristo Records One on YouTube. Also, FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton. You can go on those platforms and you can like, share, you can comment, and you can subscribe. Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn. Make sure you go and get up there and say hello. We want to just thank you all for your support, and we also want your suggestions on things that we can do to improve our show.
That's right. And all you had to do is pick up the telephone and give us a call. You can email us or inbox us on all our social media platforms to let us know, hey, what we can do to help you, to help better serve our community.
Absolutely. Now, don't forget, go to our sponsors and go ahead and visit our Beard Gods platform, BeardGodz. Go up there. Mr. Chris Hinton is the owner. Have great things for the beard, for the hair, shampoos and conditioners, balms, and all that kind of stuff. Picks and just oils and vitamins and hoodies and whatever. You got it. And it's a great product. It's Beard Gods, BeardGodz. Go up there and get you some.
That's right. Once again, good afternoon to Miss Crystal Hinton. Thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio podcast in the whole wide world. That's FYI After Dark.
That's my baby. I've been thinking about my baby. I was going to call my baby. Hey, Crystal. So, okay. And also listen, Bulvic Academy, Bulvic Academy. Yeah, go on up there. We're doing a lot of things. We started an anti-bullying initiative. I've written 2 books. Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose and The Diary of a Former Bully. Also have a game, Bulvic, Bulvic. Not only can you get it on the website, but you can also get it at Google Play, and you can get it at the Apple Store, apple.com. It's called Bulvic, Bulvic. If you don't go to the website, go to those platforms and you can get the game. A wonderful game for young people. Kids, they're into those games. They're gamers and they are into it. But there are some things that are going on those platforms that's not that good for kids, bullying and things like that. So I pulled out to do a game just really specifically geared toward the topic of bullying. It's talk. You have to read. The kids have to be.
That's right.
Read to them to engage into the game. You also will be fighting monsters, or you'll be talking with teachers and students, and get yourself in an atmosphere of calm and peace. It's a lot of things that go on in this game, and I wanted to recommend it to you as well. So the book, Bulvic, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose, and the Diary of a Former Bully. Definitely go to bulvicacademy.com, BULVIC, and see all those things that are going on. And we will appreciate it a whole bunch.
That's right. We love you so much. We appreciate you when you do all of that. Take care, FYI Bully and Beer God. And don't forget to join us on our podcast After Dark and in the AM. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to see you there. So there's a lot going on. We're going to see you on next week with the After Dark show. And we're going to see you Wednesday our Wednesday show at 9:30 a.m. Again, we're on Peace 95.3 FM, WGPL 1350, WPCE 1400, WMJ 88.9, Facebook Live, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. We want to say hello to our Instagram friends. Again, Jane, Greg. Is that my girl? I think that's Peach's sister, Jan. I think it is. Then we have Send Her To Me. I like that. Join Bunny 06. Join Hillbilly _ Girl Lover. That is beautiful. And those that are on Facebook Live, that's Sean. Thank you for joining us. Love to the family, to your mommy. Give her a big old hug for me. And we're going to see you all back here, Mr. E. Thank you so much for all that you do. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of folk to reach. And we're glad that God has given us this platform to do just that. We'll probably have a guest. I believe we will have a guest lined up for next Monday, and we want you to join us. So, Mr. E, thank you so much for joining us. Are you going to look at a game this evening? Are you? Who's on? I mean, we covered that this morning, but give us some tea.
Well, there's several games that are playing on tonight. And now, if you're looking to look at a game on tonight, if you got your heart laid out for a good old basketball game, all you have to do is turn your TV on and go to the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
Tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. against the Hornets. And then at 7 o'clock p.m., Portland Trail Blazers are playing against the Philadelphia 76ers. And then at 7:30 tonight, there's another. At 8 o'clock, the Atlanta Hawks playing against the Grizzlies. And the Houston Rockets are playing against the Thunders. And then at 8:30, the Kings are playing against the Mavericks. And you don't want to miss those games. And the Detroit Pistons are playing tonight also against the Utah Jazz. So, hey, do what you got to do in order to get you a good old basketball game, because we playing basketball.
Well, you got to go, because you better get there and look at your team, the Warriors.
The Warriors, the OKC, and the Pelicans.
All right. Look, you all be blessed. Tell somebody about FYI, and make sure you all have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on FYI Radio Show Live. And don't forget, we're on all social media platforms. 10 years of bringing you nothing but the best. Have a wonderful evening, okay? 2 up.